My very first cat, Whiskas, she waited for me to come home to visit before she passed away because she wanted to say goodbye to me. And you can really tell in this photo how much she loves me and really cares about me. Just look at that love pushing me away from her. But seriously, she did love me and she did care about me, and I know that because our cats do know who we are, they do prefer human interaction, and they do care about us. Hey friends, it's Jess and this is my boss, Jericho. It is a blessing that you are here. Hallelujah. So my mom picked me up from preschool, so I'm probably like 5 or 6. It was a nice, beautiful spring day. I'm riding on my little kick scooter on the way to her car, and she says, "I have a surprise for you." And I'm like, "What is it?" She's like, "You'll find out on the way home." So we're on our way home, we go a different route, and we pull up to this place. It was just this random house, and they had a barn. And she looks at me and she's like, "We're gonna get you a kitty cat." So we go in, and that's where we adopted Whiskas. They had a litter of cats that they were looking for homes, and that's where we got Whiskas. And I know that I'm so original naming her that. I was a little baby, okay? And I remember when we brought her home, she was so small, like could just fit. She was a kitten. She could just like fit in the palms of my hands. And I remember she was sitting on the couch with me, just like all curled up in a little ball. It was so cute. So Whiskas and I basically grew up together. We were best buds, and we were in one house and then moved to a different house a few years later. And she was actually an outdoor cat because we live in a small neighborhood. But every morning she would meet me on the driveway on the way, like when I'm on the way to the school bus, she would meet me on the driveway, and then I would do this and she would do the thing where they go up and then they get petted. They like touch their nose to your hand and then get petted. So she did that every single morning. She would meet me there. We did end up adopting Whiskas' sister, Chelsea, and that's a different story, but eventually what happened to Chelsea made us bring Whiskas indoors. And we had other cats at the time that didn't know Whiskas because she was outdoor. So Whiskas actually stayed in my room. She had her own litter box, her own food and water. She slept with me every night. She cuddled with me, got lots of petting sessions, and I played with her. So like all in my room. And one day, Whiskas couldn't move her back leg. So she was walking and it was kind of just dragging along. And I was so nervous and so scared, obviously, but even worse, the very next day I had to go back to college. So I was home on break and then I had to go back to college, and it was like 6-hour drive away, and I always relied on other people to drive me because I've never owned a car. I have my license, but I've never owned a car. But anyway, so Whiskas, she couldn't move her back leg. So of course my mom took her to the vet, while I was at school. And what ended up happening is that Whiskas had a stroke. So she was on medication, and obviously my mom was taking care of her while I was in school, but I had to wait a few months before the next break to go home to see her. So I visited a few months later, and Whiskas seemed good. She was still in my room, and she seemed like she was good. But then in the middle of the week, I heard a loud shriek in the middle of the night. It woke me up and startled me out of my sleep, and I was like, whoa, what was that? And I just kind of went back to bed because I was kind of half asleep and half like, I don't really know what's going on. So I went to sleep, and the next morning, Whiskas wasn't in bed with me. And I was patting on the bed, Whiskas, Whiskas, because like I said, she slept in bed with me every night. So it was weird that she wasn't there when I woke up. Then I remembered the loud shriek. So I asked my brother, I told him what happened, poor guy, and he's younger than me too. So I asked my brother, "Can you look under my bed? Because I think Whiskas passed on." And so he looked under the bed and came back up and just went like this. And, of course, it's very sad. She was about 16 or so she did live a long life. But what makes me happy here is that she actually waited for me to come home, because it was literally like a few days after I had visited. Like it was right in that middle of the week. So we had a few more days together, and then that's when she let go. And, it's just crazy, because a lot of us think, oh, our cats are so aloof, they don't care about us. Do they even know who we are? Do they recognize us? They really do, and Whisk has proved that to me. And I've had so many other cats in my life that have become my best buds. So my cats growing up, obviously Jericho. I make friends with street cats outside. I worked as a cat sitter for 3 years before I started this business, and I'm always able to make friends with them because I understand that they know us and that they recognize us. I mean, cats even know my voice. Some of these cats come running to my voice because I play with them, I let them sniff me. You know, I do all of these things that I know that cats like and that they prefer. That's how they get to know us. And so that's how I'm able to become, best friends with them. And I do have a free cat happiness mini course that includes cat happiness checklist and other information that I do with these cats to make them my friends and to make them happy. This is great for single cats because Jericho is a single cat too. So you can check the link in the description below. But there is also a study that proves that cats prefer human interaction compared to other stimuli, including food, toys, and scents, which is really, really cool. So there was a study with 25 pet cats and 25 shelter cats. A few of them actually dropped out of the study because they were a little too nervous, but it ended up being 19 and 19 cats that did follow through with the whole study. So 19 pet cats and 19 shelter cats. And they did this study because frankly, cats are misunderstood and underrepresented, especially in the pet industry, and because there's a big lack of feline research. So they wanted to do this study to contribute to that, but also to show people that cats are trainable, that cats do like us, that they do care about us, and that can help us strengthen our bond with our cats. And especially if we have single cats, getting another cat isn't always the solution or option, which is my case. I have the means and resources to take care of one cat, so that's how many I have. So the different stimuli categories were human interaction, social interaction, food, toys, and scents. And they were given free choice within each stimulus. And of course, every cat is an individual, but it's just interesting to see the results of this study. So overall, the highest stimuli response was in the social category at just under 20. And the second highest was food at just under 15. So that's pretty cool to see that cats actually prefer social interaction with us more than food. Jericho is extremely food motivated. He loves his diet, his raw diet, but he still looks forward to our personal routines every day. Like right now, he's sitting here laying on my desk, staring into my soul as I'm filming this video. This is where he is all day when I'm working. And then when I'm done working, he's like, okay, time for nap time. Well, we play and then I cook. And then he's like, okay, time for nap time in bed. And then he cuddles in bed with me while I watch YouTube. So playing was the highest social stimuli that cats preferred. And this is really, really interesting and really, really cool because playing with our cats is a great bonding session. It's what they prefer. The indoor version of hunting is playing. So it's a great way to stimulate that hunting drive and provide a mental stimulation and enrichment. He just pulled my finger to him. He's so cute, Jericho. So playing was first and petting was second. And petting was still preferred by over half the cats in the study, which is really cool as well. And cats showed the highest preference for a movement toy within the toy category versus a toy that doesn't move. So they had one that automatically moved, and then they had just stationary toys, like a mouse toy, and I think there was a gerbil toy. So they liked the toy that had movement because it was unpredictable movement. So that tells us even more how to play with our cats. We know that playing with our cats is important, and we know that how we play with our cats is important because they like that unpredictable movement because it reminds them of how prey move around. Bye, Jericho. He doesn't like when I film because usually we're just quiet. He gets to nap and he gets to rest. And like I said, your single cat can benefit from this. Your single cat doesn't have to be lonely in an apartment. Jericho isn't lonely in this apartment, even though he is single. All you have to do is just watch this video next so your single cat isn't lonely in an apartment, because getting another cat isn't always the answer.